All righty. Hello, hello, Shannon. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for asking. Now, Shannon, I would love for us to simply just kickstart our interview here. If you don't mind, tell me a little bit about yourself and your professional experience.
Sure. I have over 20 years of recruiting experience. I have recruited for technology, operations, financial services. I've had the opportunity to recruit for high volume and executive level recruiting. I do full cycle. It basically the whole gamut from sourcing. I use sourcing techniques. I use LinkedIn, Recruiter LinkedIn, also utilize networking events, social media platforms, and in addition, referrals. I've used multiple ATS systems. At my previous experience at Citi, we were utilizing Workday. We had Taleo prior to the implementation, but it has been a few years since I've utilized Taleo. Also use different tools such as Talent Neuron. This is a software that allows you to basically do market mapping and market intelligence. It helps managers know compensation ranges, competitor org structures, gives you basically a footprint for what you're looking for and where to find the best talent. In addition, I have experience working with candidate and stakeholder feedback. We've utilized VOE or Voice of Employee surveys, as well as 360-degree feedback. And this has actually been really beneficial for us. It's helped the experience for both the client side and actually the candidate side. Part of my role at Citi was also as an employer branding. And what we would do is use social media and context and partner with our marketing team. And we would basically post as a way to find top tier candidates, also engage passive candidates, and also find, to ensure that they had the right caliber talent for the roles we were recruiting for, I was recruiting for. Probably averaged about 40 roles at Citi. This was both financial operations and technology across multiple business units. So asset servicing, global custody, audit. I've worked with risk and compliance roles, treasury trade, so different business units. So that's a little bit about my background.
And thank you so much for the thorough introduction to your professional experience with recruitment. You said it best. You've been in recruitment for about 20 plus years or so. The type of roles that you've been sourcing, the kind of systems and resources or even job fairs that you've done to gain personnel or talent. So I appreciate the details with that. But I want to know, because you've been in the industry for so long, what keeps you in, talent acquisition or recruitment?
I love what I do. I mean, finding candidates, actually, it's rewarding to get people into new jobs. Also, I love the partnerships with the stakeholders and the different business units, HR, compensation, our HR, we partnered with them. I partnered with them, established a lot of great relationships. Also a way to learn the different business lines, new industries, new technology. I've experienced so much growth, I think, over my professional career in recruiting, and that's why I enjoy it.
Beautiful. And I agree as well. It's definitely a rewarding position to be in, especially when you make those calls and say, you know what, you got the job, it was well worth it, the process. So definitely rewarding profession. Now, we know that with recruitment, we should always have a pipeline, right? I think that's something key when it comes to recruitment. So how do you keep the talent that are in your pipeline? How do you keep them engaged?
Oh, absolutely. You got to feedback and you got to follow up with them on a regular basis. I end up sending out a Friday email to all of my candidates, whether they're passive or they're non-passive, just to find out what's going on. Do they have other offers? And then just basically to reach out to passive candidates that may have changed their mind, their situation may have changed. Also, I keep an Excel spreadsheet, basically listing the contact last time I contacted them, updates as to what basically the discussion was, where they're at in the process. And then just, basically that one-on-one attention helps you with your pipelines. And I source from so many different places that, you know, I get to learn, you know, go to this resource, go to this place, this platform, and then you actually start building your network up. So had a lot of people I know, not only in Tampa, I've supported across the US and in Canada. So I've established pipelines globally.
That's incredible how you're able to keep your pipelines, you know, here in the Americas and then, you know, outside of that as well. So that's incredible in itself. I want to know a little bit about your work ethic, Shannon. So if I were to connect with, let's say, one of your previous employers, how do you think they would describe your work ethic?
Workaholic, maybe.
Okay.
Very diligent. I'm analytical and I'm data driven. So that's a lot of things that I think you would hear those types of things as well. I'm a team player. Team collaboration is very important, you know, keeping in touch with people across your business lines, across your different regional counterparts. I think that attention to detail is probably one of the biggest things that you would hear. So those would be a few things.
Absolutely. And thank you for
I do. So I tend to work a lot. And enjoy the relationships you establish too.
That's right.
Family, you know, your team and everything becomes like family. It's
Yeah.
nice.
I agree. And I would say even, you know, a recruitment role, it's not your standard 9 to 5, right? Because I think when it comes to recruitment and even the engagement with the talent or candidates, we should be accessible when needed. So I always find myself working before and after, but it's by choice and it's because I love what I do. So I agree with you on that. And thank you for sharing.
Sure.
My last question for you, Miss Shannon, is when were you looking to start a new position? How soon?
I'm available immediately. So once I'm sure we got to pass a drug test, background check, all the good stuff, immediately available. And I also don't have any plans for the holidays too.
Awesome. So no upcoming time off at all, anything pre-planned? Okay, perfect. Well, that sounds amazing to me, Shannon. I want to go ahead and just thank you overall for the time that we spent this afternoon. It's been a pleasure getting to know your professional experience.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I am going to go ahead and stop the recording, but if you don't mind, stay in the line with me really quickly. I want to chat with you.
Okay.
Thank you.